Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Aaron's Book Club. Sorry about the lighting. We have a planned power outage for our area. I guess they're doing repairs or whatnot. But I wanted to do a book review because I finished a book a while ago and time has been limited, and now I finally have time. So, the book review I have to do today is The Butchering Art: Joseph Lister's Quest to Transform the Grisly World of Victorian Medicine by Lindsey Fitzharris, I think is how you say it. But first, love the cover. I know it's dark and hard to see, but love the cover. Also, such a well-written book, and I was a little bit concerned because it's definitely not a fiction. So I thought that it would be a dry read, and it really wasn't. Lindsey does such a good job of making the work entertaining and really educational. And it's amazing how far, in some ways, our medical front has come with treating of disease and anesthetic and everything else. But on the flip side, it's amazing how similar it has stayed the same. And I can even mention that with my experience with the doctors and that kind of thing. The mentality at first that patients were no more than a case file, and that distancing oneself from the pain and maybe the fear that they feel is best for your profession is something that I get thrown up a lot on with my husband, and it hasn't changed in the past. And this Lister fellow is looked at as unusual because he is considering the welfare of the patient and listening to the patient. But like even today in today's day and age, like my husband, he's lost one leg, just below the knee, and trying to describe to doctors that we are in a considerable amount of pain and it isn't normal and it isn't just a leg cramp that we're suffering before we had the surgeries to take the leg off. We were sent home 3 days in a row from the emergency hospital with it's just a leg cramp, use some pain meds. They only took us seriously about the pain he is suffering when the foot started changing color, and by that time it's too late. And even then, they had us go through multiple surgeries to try to save the leg, where at that point, when the foot's changed color, amputation should have been the first thing to do. But the doctors wouldn't listen or even care to listen or explain what their thoughts were. And that part of medical society hasn't changed. Shown in this book, how surgeries before anesthetic was hold the patient down and cut the leg open, and then pray they don't die after. And the fact that a good pus after the wound or after the surgery was shown or thought of as a wound healing. made for interesting reading, and it was amazing how far they came and that kind of thing, but it was also an insightful look into how far we haven't, and how politics in the medical society gets in trouble or interferes with the growth of the medical society. And the ones that have done something some way for years and years and years don't want to look into doing something new because that's just not the way we did it. And if those individuals had won out, our learning would have stopped. And that's the whole thing with any kind of education, is if you're doing something one way and you refuse to see a new way of doing it, then you don't grow. And it's scary to see that doctors are kind of the same way and like bickering against each other when they find something new to look into. Instead of trying to actually replicate something and see if it works, they're trying to replicate it, trying to prove that it's going to fail so they can go back to that other guy and say, yeah, your thing failed. And the two sciences of medicine and, say, animal husbandry very rarely mixed when they could have mixed and helped. It's a fascinating read. It's an easy read, and it's incredibly insightful, and there's so much to learn without it being dry and boring. So if any of you guys are into Victorian medicine or medicine in general or history in general, The Butchering Art is such a good read, and it's not a great big long book, but it's such a good read. So I guess that's all I have to say about that one, and I will let you guys know when I have another book read. Thank you.